Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Got a fun one in store for you today. Bunch of fun VR news, but we also had quite the fun day yesterday. We saw Andrew Dice Clay live.
We did.
Yeah.
But before we rant a little about it, because I know we brought it up, we're going to end up talking about it. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, and that's a big deal in our area.
Our Irish community is ginormous in Massachusetts. Are you kidding me?
I think they say there's more Irish people in New England than
Ireland?
in Ireland, or more people of Irish ancestry.
Well,
and
yeah, dude. Boston, 100%, and then Holyoke. I mean, back in, the 50s, 40s, they had their own section, the Irish. I mean, it's just Irish immigrants were huge in New England.
They have the big parade today.
Where do we come there to work?
Yeah, it's a big community.
The Irish cop, bro.
Yeah.
You got the problem, laddie.
The
No,
Irishman.
officer, I don't. What do you fucking do now?
And we all know the saying in New England, what they say around here is on St. Patty's Day, everyone's Irish.
Everyone's Irish.
I always wonder that when they say, how many people there are of Irish ancestry in New England, how many people are just checking yes on that just because, I live in New England. That means I'm Irish.
That is the 1970s version of every kid said they were
Native American.
They were Native American.
I remember that.
No. Every kid in the 70s said they were Indian.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The Native American concept wasn't existent
in the 70s. But even when I was in school in the 2000s, that's what every kid said is my grandparents were Native American. It's like, I doubt all of you.
No, you weren't.
Were. Maybe 1% of you. But I
was told shit about my background, quote unquote, where you came from my whole life. And it seemed pretty rock solid to me. You're half French Canadian and like half Hungarian German.
Mm-hmm.
And I take the little spit test there and I find out I'm like 0 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they
some Portuguese, some German, some Hungarian, some
Greek. Yeah, the Hungarian held true, the German held true, but French, France, for real? That kind of spooked me. Greek spooked me. Portuguese freaked me out. Spain.
Well, when did French Canadian just show up as French in an ancestry?
Well, they have the area that it would come from.
Oh, that's true too.
Versus, the upper America's baseball cap there.
But nonetheless, we're diverting a little bit. Happy St.
Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and we had quite the fun time at Andrew Dice Clay live.
Front row center
which
seats.
Is dangerous for Dice Clay.
Well, it's weird because when the tickets went on sale, you sent me, hey, Dice is going on sale. You want to get, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And you're like, I can get us front row. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking great. The price was good. Let's do it. And it wasn't until we walked into the Symphony Hall.
And the usher goes, good luck.
Yeah, he's like, he's in a good mood. Good luck. Don't make eye contact. And we get to our seats and
you're like, are these the right seats?
I thought we were off to the side a little.
No, we were
like
dead
to the
center.
wing. No, I'm like, there's his microphone, and look at that, there we are. And I thought for sure it had like, who sits front row for Dice, right?
We had probably like 5 seats between us. So you walked over to me and you were like eyes as wide as could be.
Yeah.
You're like, are these the right seats? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I made you show it up on the phone.
And and I see you looking around, reading the seat numbers, and you're like, yeah.
Like shit.
And you're like, this is really dead center in the middle. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And
for some reason, when you got the tickets, the way it looked on the map to me was like we were off to the looking at the stage, we were to the left, and so yeah, I was like,
which anyone that doesn't
direct contact with
anyone that doesn't know stand-up comedy, there's no comedian that's more known for their ruthless crowd work than Dice Clay.
On point, always on point.
But he put on a great show. We didn't get destroyed or anything like that.
Not once.
It was all friendly. The opener, Eleanor Kerrigan,
dude,
she was amazing. She just had a special drop for free on YouTube too.
You know what? Dude,
she was so good.
I do not think this lady should be opening for anybody anymore. That's it.
You think she's a headliner?
If she was I'm telling you, a gram better than she was. She possibly would have.
But she could have been holding back. She just had a special drop, which means all new material.
She could have trumped some of Dice's work easily.
Yeah.
So it's like her stand-up is absolutely. But I mean, if you're woke or whatever, or ultra liberal, don't listen to her because you're gonna get worked up because she's not. She speaks her mind. She says whatever she wants. I mean, she came out on stage and.
Yeah, this is a VR podcast.
Cooch.
We'll get to the news in a second, but stand-up comedy is an art form.
I love stand-up.
I always
my whole life.
I don't want to get into the debate here. This is how. Hey, we've managed to stay clean for 3 years, stay safe for 3 years, but this won't be where we break it or nothing. But it's like anything. It's like an artist. If an artist paints a painting depicting, violent or a war picture, that doesn't mean anything about them. That's just an artistic creation that they're doing. Same with like somebody creating a movie and there might be a heinous horror scene.
You don't have to sell me on this.
That doesn't mean that person's
I'm not the one who has problems with shit like that though.
People, somebody goes on stage and says something, it's not that they actually believe it. It's an art form. It's an artistic expression.
No, but I can give you a million examples of your expressive art form will get you absolutely destroyed.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying it into the recording. I'm just
including the dude we saw last night who was canceled on MTV. Canceled, dude.
But we're on the same page. We'll get to the VR news. But we don't talk about our life too much. But I feel like some people enjoy that banter. So if you don't, I apologize for those first 5 minutes. And if you do, welcome to a day in the life of Ruff Talk VR. Right. But nonetheless, so to kick off the news for the week, this was pretty cool. Somebody that we talked to a few months ago, Doug Northcook, he's part of a new studio/label that popped up called Creature. And they have a $1 million indie fund currently going on with SideQuest. And we've talked to Orla Harris from SideQuest about the fund too. And they've hyped up that they have a game coming soon for it, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. But that's one aspect that they're doing besides their indie fund and their label side, which is kind of like a publisher marketing position. They're also doing in-house games, and they announced their first in-house game called Starship Home, which, as the name sounds, turns your home into a starship via mixed reality. It's going to be the first Quest 3 exclusive game. And technically, Townsman VR did come out, Quest 3, but not Quest 2. But you can't call that Quest 3 exclusive because it's also out on, PC VR and I think PSVR 2 as well. But this is the first game that's coming out only on Quest 3. And they dropped a little 1-minute trailer of it. Didn't show too much. I mean, it showed some of the stuff that, it'll transform your room into. But I'm trying to get a feel of what's the basis of this. It seems story-based. I don't know if it's going to be like puzzles or crafting-based. I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know what exactly is going on, but...
We know you got portals in your house and you're going to be doing shit. But to what like you said, trailers are getting weird right now. I'm not going to lie.
It's not that they're getting weird. Trailers have always been like this to me. You're like, there's good trailers and
just when you see a batch of them, it's like, I couldn't really tell you like what their game is about.
Yeah, I mean, I got the concept that it's going to be
visually. I have a representation of what it is.
Correct.
Functionally, I don't know what I'm supposed to do or going to do.
I don't know if it's going to be sandbox based. I get the impression story based, but I also could be wrong in that. I
have no idea, dude.
I'm curious though.
They look good though.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out this year.
What you're going to do looking good, I don't know.
Hey, I got good faith.
And I have a feeling that's going to be another example of, you might have to map out your room properly and put dressers and tables and lamps where they really are in order to really take a full advantage of the
they're kind of hyping
experience.
They're hyping this up as like, a lot of times mixed reality is kind of not a tech demo, but an example of what's to come.
That's really
they're hyping this up as as like one of the first full mixed reality games. So in my eyes, it can't just be a sandbox based off of that. It can't just be your room turns into a starship.
Well, couldn't you argue that Drop Dead to Cabin mixed reality is a full mixed reality game?
and arguably Aspire too, but they're not standalone games just off that. But then you also have Demeter.
So you might be splitting hairs.
And then you also have Demeter, though, which is a full standalone mixed reality. But I get what they're saying. They're just trying to hype their game a bit. And they didn't say the first.
Yeah,
they
and
said
we don't
one of the
know-
first. To be fair, too. They said one of the first.
We also don't know what any of the true plot, storyline.
Yeah, we don't know anything yet.
Expectation that you have to do is. So it's like, it's right now, it's just a real who's to say, but it graphically looks nice.
The story page, again, mentions an interplanetary adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's got to be something. I'm excited, though. I got faith in the creature label. I like that they're doubling down on mixed reality. I know when we talked to Doug Northcook, he was very big on mixed reality. So, to me, it's no surprise that their first in-house game is...
Unless you got a shitty room.
Let's see.
You might be using VR to escape that, not stare at it.
This could be one of those
The only
examples.
downside to MR that I've seen is like you might not be happy with your current. So what we need is the ability to use your living space, but it clean up your shit, and then not, get what I'm saying?
Well, there's been a couple games I've seen where it places the mixed reality object that you need to interact with way outside of your play area that you drew and stuff like that. So
That was Demeter, wasn't it?
I believe so, but there's been a couple that happens with. So I'm kind of viewing this as beyond it being a full-fledged game. Let's see if this is one of the first like seamless implementations of
we're
mixed
gonna find
reality.
out.
Let's see. But I'm hyped. So Creature, their first game, Starship Home, officially announced as the first Quest 3 exclusive. And then another one, I love to see this, Demeo. Our first ever episode was reviewing Demeo, one of the best games in VR. If it had any negative to it, it's how long a game can take. And a while ago, maybe like a year ago even, or if not longer, they added mid-game saves to it. But you had to do it in between each floor, each room, You couldn't just pause and hit save. You had to get to a certain point, the checkpoint, and then you could save. Now, they just rolled out that you can save anytime in the game, which I actually think is huge for this one.
That's ginormous.
If there's any reason to not play Demeo, you're like, oh, we only have 30 minutes.
That's the only reason why sometimes we can't is because we have to really be. I mean, you can obviously quit, but if you're remotely competitive at all, if you're going to spend 45 minutes, an hour, getting to the like second level and shit, and then you're just going to be like, I'm done. No, you usually finish it off until you get killed or you finish, but.
And we've cleared a floor in 20 minutes, and it's also taken us, like you said, an hour, 45 minutes an hour.
Depends on which book you're doing.
And how OC, we like to find all the chests, so if we're trying to do that, it's going to take a while, whereas other times it's like, there's an army of enemies coming to us, we got the key, and we're like, just book it, go.
Yeah, sometimes we go
straight
clean
down.
house.
Yeah, it all depends, but, again, if you only got 30 minutes, there's not a guarantee that you're going to clear a whole floor. So now, being able to just hit pause, save mid-game, mid-floor, that's huge.
Yeah,
so
that's a victory.
Yeah, huge props to Resolution
I instantly
Games.
said, I'm like, all right, now I don't mind going in and really trying to get some damage done, because to be continued at a later time works for me.
Yeah, Demeo is one of my favorites too. And anytime I
always will be.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll go a long time without playing it.
But D&D's going to crush Demeo.
Well, that's made by Resolution as well.
Yeah, that's why
smart.
I say it without any ill feeling.
Because it's their own game.
I'm like, but I mean, pound for pound, it's like the D&D audience is probably bled over, of course, in the Demeo, but to actually have D&D branded,
I'm so curious how that's going to go.
We actually have non-D&D players definitely going, and then you're going to have D&D players.
There's going to be a Dungeon Master mode. Let's see.
That to me is the holy grail of that. And I don't know if that's even anything on the radar. I know nothing about it other than what's been said about it. But if someone could be the dungeon and you have a list of shit that you can do and drop that, OMG, you are talking next level shit, dude.
And then you also have like timing of announcement. What I mean by that is, did they announce this when the ink of the deal dried, or did they announce it when it was a year already in development and it's a year away? So this could be 2 to 3 years away, or it could be a year away.
Could be
6 months away.
Could be the end of the year away.
We don't know.
We don't know.
All it was announced is that it was,
I just got so many questions.
I got the impression.
And then I wouldn't even be upset if the roadmap for the future would be to allow that mode. But to me, that's whoever can nail giving one player the ability to direct the
Dungeon
journey.
Master mode. Oh
come
my
on.
goodness, let's go. That would be the ultimate Discord game. Besides Grim.
Grim.
Well,
Don't get me, dude. There was an update for Grim, by the way.
not an update or like news about it.
No, anything that's posted about
Yeah.
it from Spoon is an update
What
to
was
me.
the update?
It was a media shot, like video.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I'm gonna say you want to talk about smooth. Not even funny, but he was updating the spectator mode.
Okay.
So, and it's
So
funny
much
because
potential.
when I was
this
like
one.
spectator mode,
Yeah,
you know, like there's a spectator mode.
yeah, I
Get
didn't
the
know that.
hell out, man.
Game gets deeper and deeper every time.
But you can go to the Discord and you can go to the little media channel and you'll see anything he's ever posted. And it's always in-game footage. Man, that's a PC VR game. It's going to run standalone, but let's be honest. It's going to look badass.
Too
on
sexy PC VR to ignore.
Yeah.
Well, I've always enjoyed Ghost of Tabor standalone, so I don't think
I do too. It's great, but I will play Ghost of Tabor on a PC VR so that, as well. I feel like for advantage,
Mhm.
I just me, but I feel like your accuracy hit points are better with that much better.
I wouldn't
I don't
know.
know.
I wouldn't know. Hopefully, we'll know soon, though.
I don't know.
Hopefully, we'll know soon.
Oh yeah, we'll find out.
But Demeo is one of those games we'll go a long time without playing it, and then without
Great.
fail, every time we play Demeo, I go, "Damn, we really should play this more." I mean, it is so fun.
I like it better than Battles.
And how about when? Yeah,
Even though Battles is
is fun, but I agree.
Battles to me is like if you just want to get a quick.
I like the cooperative adventure aspect of each book.
I don't mind the spinoff though at all.
No, Demeo Battles
fun.
is fun.
Yep.
It is fun. And I remember when we used to only be able to use 2 characters if
Yeah.
we only played together in Demeo. Now we each get a
get
control too.
Yep.
That game has gotten so good. Oh man,
Our
I
first
had
ever
no
review.
intention to talk about D&D VR, but yeah, I'm pumped for that. That
Mhm.
is so big from
I
resolution
don't play
games.
D&D, but I'm jacked for it because
Let's
I know
go.
who's doing it.
Let's
It's like
go.
what they brought to the table on their own with Demeo is like the detail they've put into this is not to be taken for granted at all.
Not at all.
Remember the first time we like picked up the pieces, and
Looking
turned them
under it,
over
made in
and,
Sweden.
like
That room,
this artistic,
the basement room,
yeah.
and it's so good in mixed
Well, the
reality
basement
too.
room didn't exist then.
I'm pretty sure it was always the basement room since launch.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the little hobby, like the hobby.
Oh,
area.
the heroes hangout.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say you've always
yeah,
been
the play
in the,
area is always the.
but you're talking about heroes hangout. Where you can paint the pieces and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Again,
resolution's
kicking it
genius.
up a notch. Knowing what the important things with those type of games was, and the pewter pieces is a big part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and painting them is another big part of it.
And in mixed reality, just taking the board and stretching it all the way
Room size,
across, room
Yeah.
size, beautiful, great stuff.
resolution doesn't fuck around.
No, so we'll do one or two more.
Just don't, dude.
We'll do one
They're
or
all
two more, and
business.
then take our ad break before we forget.
Yep.
But man, when this news came out, I was smiling, cheekbone to cheekbone.
Mm.
Tropico VR was announced that it's coming to the Quest on March 28th for $29.99, and it's called Tropico VR. Let me preface by saying I'm a huge Tropico fan. I know you are too.
There's not one, dude. I own a bunch on Steam, and I own at least a couple on Steam. But I know I own every single one on Xbox. I think I own 3 on Steam.
It is such a good series.
That's been the best since day one.
It's a real-time strategy game where
Any of them.
you're a dictator on pretty much like a fictional Caribbean island.
Tropical Island.
Yeah, tropical island. And it's very, comical.
El Presidente.
Yeah. There's a lot
Welcome, El Presidente.
there's a lot of funny references, a lot of, communist
Sound score
dictator
on,
references.
on every single one they've ever made,
It's great.
is
I
great.
love it.
but nothing's ever been better than the first one.
Tropical. I've loved all of them that I've played. I don't think I've played the most recent. I might have actually stopped at Tropico 5.
And I mean sound score wise.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The music in Tropico is great all around though. But the entire game's fun. You know, you got to manage your international relations with the U.S., the USSR.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in like 1950. There's a full timeline that goes by. There's a campaign. There's a sandbox mode. You customize what your guy looks like. You give him traits.
Well, you can.
Yeah, or you can
have
pick
the
a
option of
pre-selected
picking
one.
A pre-selected,
Correct.
With pre-selected traits, or you customize your guy.
Which the pre-selected ones are all like comical references of real people from that era. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, they typically also have real dictators.
Correct. I know Fidel Castro's.
Yep,
in
Baby
the
Doc.
game. Yep.
Baby Doc's usually one. Fidel.
And then you got to
was it Che Guerrero? Every college guy fucking T-shirt without doing their research first.
So they have all, you know, you got to manage your resources. You got to build farms. You got to build, you know, Teamster stations, foreign offices.
Construction offices. Dude, there's nothing about that game.
Oh my God, it goes so deep. So this, even though it's called Tropico 4, even though it's called Tropico VR, it's based off of Tropico 4,
correct,
which was a great one in the series.
It's not a bad one in the series.
It had DLC, so what's cool about this is it's going to feature everything from the base game, plus everything from their Modern Times DLC as well, which extends your playtime in it a little bit farther.
Plus
into
they
the
always
modern
have sandbox mode.
Correct. And add some more campaign missions too. So this game's going to, theoretically, if it's everything of Tropico 4, man, this is going to be epic. I'm one of the huge advocates of real-time strategy games. You always hear me yelling about Civ. If this is well executed, this should prove that it works.
I got faith in it.
Yeah.
So,
huge fan of Tropico.
Yeah.
I know you are too, so we're hyped.
Lifetimer.
Yeah, right. You know, end of the month.
I really was. Because these are the games I like.
10 days away, dude.
These are my favorite games. So I don't discriminate. I'm not biased to anything. I see one for sale and I would grab it. And then it carried over to me carrying it over to Xboxes. And I was like, fuck it. There it is. I'm buying it.
There's too much good stuff this month. Now, Tropico VR dropping at the end of the month. Then we got Medieval Dynasty coming out.
Yeah, another good one.
This week dropping Max Mustard and Lawnmower Sim VR. Ugh, too many good games, man.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff this month.
You'll find me on my island.
Yeah, April even better. But that's
Your
my
citizens grow reckless.
That's my one fear is like I really want to play Medieval Dynasty when it comes out. I really want to play Max Mustard and stuff. But March 28th, once Tropico VR comes out, man, I'm El Presidente.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's like you said, find me on the island, baby. If it's as good as the flat screen versions, I got some work to do,
dude.
We were talking about this though. You were more of a campaign guy. I'm more of a sandbox guy off the get go.
I always do the campaign first
and then go to the sandbox.
Yeah.
But even when I start to do the campaign, it always just makes me go, I want to just do the sandbox now. I love Sandbox Tropico.
Yeah, dude.
It's so easy in that game to fail too. To go wrong.
Because when shit goes bad, it's going to go bad deep, and you've got a lot of citizens. And the worst case, the worst case
elections.
Is if you don't. My problem is I'll keep everything great, and I mean, dude, it'll be monstrous, and then I have the prison built and all this shit. So then I start looking for citizens who are being rabble rousers, and I execute them. And then come election time, I choose typically not to have an election, or I assassinate my opponent.
So you're a complete dictator?
Yeah. That's the whole idea. But I build up everybody's trust by being perfect. No real strong military presence. And then, like, poof. I'd say within, a couple months real time, all of a sudden there's like military shit everywhere in prisons. And I'm sending because you can click on people and have them assassinated or brought to jail for being rabble rousers. And the game usually tells you, like, you have a citizen acting up. And that's when all right, well, you're going to start bitching about how good you've had it. I'll show you how good it's not going to be for you anymore. Take you and your whole family. That's it. Going to prison. Never coming out. Yeah, no, I go full blown dictator, sir.
Yeah, I could see you doing that in these type of video games. Easy.
Yeah, man.
Build up
I
a
put up
heavy
good
military
defenses.
presence.
Yeah, you're not fucking with me. People will die.
Do you tend to side more in this game? Because I mean, the game kind of leans you to side with the USSR. You have to you have to work to be more.
Most of those
USS.
dictators on the list do not side with the USA.
Correct. So they kind of make you work harder to be U.S. relations, and I usually strive for that. I'm like, let me.
I've done both.
But which do you do? I could see you totally going USSR in this game just to role play.
Well, what's interesting enough, I do both all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do the USA, it's funny because I'm turning up all that really, really bad shit that I'm doing to like rabble rousing citizens.
Mm-hmm.
But yet I'm taking all the funding from a country that would not be cool with it.
The real key is if you can maintain good relations with both.
Yeah,
then you can get good funds from both. But in classic game like this fashion, you get too negative with one, they'll invade your ass. You better
They send out the boat. You'll see the battleship out in the ocean, and then eventually, that's it. They just fucking drop bombs on your ass.
The first times I played Tropico, that was always my problems. Is that like I didn't realize that was going to happen. I went right into sandbox mode. I start fucking with one side,
Yeah,
and then
until you can build a base of that,
things go bad.
Because if I remember, you build your base. I'm curious if VR will have it where if you get enough support from, let's say, the Soviet side, you can build one of their military bases on your island, which will keep the U.S. away from your island, and you have really good. I think
they have like nuclear deterrence as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of edicts too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because you can,
Tropico is so fucking good.
You can edict the shit out of your citizens.
If this really is all of Tropico 4 in VR,
they should do one of these and have it for North Korea because you figure all the edicts you could have.
That'd be a fun DLC,
right? Oh, how angry would he get though?
Well, remember when there was that movie where they were interviewing him and they were supposed to try to assassinate him, and that was like a big deal.
Yes.
Luckily, it caused Sony to get hacked.
Yeah.
Sony got hacked because of that.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
that wasn't a bad movie either.
No,
with James Franco and Jonah Hill.
You're like picking on a person who was chosen.
It was a funny movie.
Yeah, I get it. I saw it.
It wasn't a bad movie.
It was on Netflix.
I don't think they released it in theaters though.
I don't go to theaters anymore.
No,
I see no point.
But that would be a fun DLC because, like, dude, it's fun role playing in the El Presidente. You know me and you, we're getting in character.
You don't want to live on my island.
And what's interesting about this one is it's all 1950s to start, and then it extends into the modern time. But it's like you can have U.S. and USSR as allies, but then there's also China, Europe, Middle East, and you can have them as allies or enemies, but they'll never invade you.
It never started off that way. If I remember, I don't think
on the first
1,
couple,
2, and 3.
Yeah,
I don't think they had the.
But China and the other ones, they'll never invade you. They're kind of only like
they're sidebars.
So it would be interesting if there was like a North Korea DLC one. It would be different people as relations, different time period. That would be cool.
Right.
That would be a fun game.
That's what I'm talking about.
That same comedic stuff, Ooh, that's not a bad idea. But nonetheless, Tropico VR coming end of this month.
You might get assassinated, but
yeah,
feel free to make it.
Can't that happen in Tropico? Your citizens can rebel on you, right?
Yeah, they can.
And then they'll freaking. That's why you go full dictator. Because you silence that shit. I already know. We didn't get into why you do.
If you ignore it, it's gonna build.
They'll kill you.
They're gonna attract other people attention.
They'll kill you,
dude. Just like
simple as that.
Just like in deism, whenever a religious folk would pop up, I'd fucking kill his ass.
Not the religious folk. The
what are they? You know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. What's the word that they use for it? My goodness.
Heretic.
The heretic. Yes.
Yeah,
throw them into
you're
the
dead.
lava.
Gone. In the volcano, bro.
Yeah. So Tropico VR, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. End of this month. So one more before our ad break. But Big Shots VR, that's a game that was actually shown on the Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase. Thank you very much for your participation in that. I got a soft spot for all the games that participated in that. But they announced that they're coming to the store, to the Quest store on April 18th, along with Steam VR and PSVR. And it's PSVR 2. I know that should go without saying, but I'll still include that.
Right. Someone will take for
exact. Somebody will be like, "What? They're putting out a game for the regular PSVR?" No, PSVR 2. So coming out for all the major headsets except Pico. And it's going to be a co-op game. In single player, you can either play it with an AI companion or you can play it co-op with a buddy.
Which is cool.
And to make it easier to play with a buddy, it's cross-platform. So if
even cooler.
If you're on Quest, your buddy's on Steam VR, no issue. You all are still going to be able to play together. So it's from a developer, Belgian-based developers, which Belgium has quite the scene.
Big surprise.
Yeah, it's like Belgium, Sweden, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. It's like those are like hotbeds. So I'm very impressed with the work coming out of those countries, like Belgium. But the studio there, Alter Eyes, they announced that they're made a publishing partnership with My Dearest.
Nice.
Yeah, My Dearest is really stepping up their publishing side. So I'm excited for this one. Big Shot's coming out April 18th. It's a mech fighting game.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, if it was a PvP mech fighting game, I'd be a little bit more like, kind of already, there's other ones. If it was like a single player story one, I'd be like, meh, I'd rather play Underdogs, to be honest with you. But because it's co-op.
Well, this is like a shooting mech one too.
Correct.
So it's got that.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own lane.
I was very excited to see co-op though. If it was single player, I'd be like, there's a bunch of stuff coming out. But co-op, I'm like, damn, I need to check this out. So, and I mean, a game that came out last week, Paint the Town Red, it wasn't bad. It was a little repetitive. We played it thanks to some keys from the MetaQuest creator program.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't 100% sold, mainly just because of lack of co-op. If the game had co-op, I would play it.
I'm going to play it a little more.
Just to be fair.
Yeah, just to be 100% sure with shit. But
to be fair, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's all good. But the instant lack of co-op. But in fairness to the dev team,
maybe they'll add it.
If we could reach out and find out that maybe there is a roadmap for co-op, then that would make the whole thing a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's not fun, but it screams like this would be good co-op.
I'm pretty sure the flat screen version has co-op as well, which is even more unfortunate. And I'll be honest with you, when we went into it, I was like, there's no co-op. I don't even want to play. Remember, I was being a little like, not pouty, but but then I did have more fun than I expected. Yeah, I even said it. I was like, you know what? That was comical.
It's challenging. It's not a walk in the park.
You survive the wave of freaking people coming at you.
It's a lot too, like 60 or something.
But
40
I agree.
Something.
Co-op, I would go in all the time. It would be a lot of fun. So I have that same feeling of Big Shots where like I look at it and I go, man, if that was single player, I think I would easily avoid it. But co-op,
if I find out that co-op's on the table, I'm not playing another second of it
until co-op's out.
Until co-op, and then I'll start from the beginning again.
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
It needs co-op.
Yeah, but it's not bad. I mean, if it's your cup of tea, as far as like you don't mind, there's not a lot of people who want co-op. So I mean, it's excellent.
Yeah,
but
benefit of the
it needs the co-op for sure.
One of the benefits of the creator program, the MetaQuest creator program, keys for Paint the Town Red.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for maybe we can grab some more of these upcoming games coming out because, like I said, the rest of March and April is stacked. Our whole April is already booked with interviews every weekend right now. I mean, granted, something can change, plans change. It's a month away, whatever. But damn, to already have April all booked up.
It's nice.
That shows you.
It's going to be a good spring.
Yeah. Last year's spring was really busy too. So, let's do one more and then an ad break. I love to do that. I love to say, let's do one more than an ad break and then sneak in one more because that's how I roll. This one will be a quick one because unfortunately we don't have the platform that it's talked about, but I love the developers behind it. So I'll still say it. The Twilight Zone VR is coming to PSVR 2. So that's huge.
Yay.
I love it.
No,
we don't have
it's
PSVR 2.
No.
So we can't tell you the difference and stuff, but they were hyping in their trailer that it's going to have enhanced graphics, taking advantage of the enhanced processing power on the PSVR 2.
I mean, it's cool to see developers going to PSVR 2 still because sadly, there could be some bigger ones who had it on their roadmap who are now like,
I'm pretty sure
not worth it. But
pretty sure VR Monkey, who we just talked to last week, I'm pretty sure they helped with the PSVR 2 port as well.
Nice.
Savages.
So it's good that developers are going that route, but you have to. I mean,
be available on all platforms.
Correct. It saddens me when, the last one we spoke about won't be on Pico, because that's a market that you need to get in. It's important to be in, and whatever. I mean, people do it, right? You can put your game on Pico. So I would just encourage people, look at that as a viable market, because that's going to, in the end of the day, going to mean more people buying headsets, even if they're not, Apples and freaking Oculuses.
But I'm excited to see PSVR 2 users be able to actually experience this one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Twilight Zone VR.
I was stoked when they were making it, just because I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. So
they were hyping up an announcement for it. Selfishly, I was, like, oh, more content for it. But no, it's cool to see it drop on another platform.
Yeah, good for them.
Whole new set of users be able to get to experience it. So, well, now we're for real this time. Take our ad break and then come back with the rest of the VR news. But like always, before we take our ad break, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters on our on-air Patreon tier. Huge shout out to Amelia, Asim, Earth Witness, Carson, Generic Vibes, Jake, Crispy, and Shoes. So thank you all for your continued support. If you want to become one of those Patreon supporters, getting an on-air shout out, you can find the Patreon link in our show notes, our episode description. Comes with some other cool perks like access to an exclusive Patreon-only channel in our Discord server, which we always hype up our Discord server. Every week we see more and more people popping in. And like we always say, it's cool when somebody pops in, they're like, been listening for 6 months and now finally heard you guys say it every week. Here I am. So, I'll continue on it. If you're a listener to the show, go check out Discord. Click the link in our show notes. Go join a community of Ruff Talk VR listeners. A lot of cool stuff in there. Game meetups, what we call happy hour meetup, which unfortunately we haven't been able to partake in the last couple, but we got to hop into another one soon. People just kind of meet up, chit chat about tech. This last time they went into VR chat after, hung out, and then also a ton of walkabout mini golf meetups, synth riders, whole bunch of good stuff, as well as just general VR discussion, life discussion, food pictures, animal pictures. Come on, man. Let's go. The whole 9 yards. So go check out the Ruff Talk VR Discord. Go join the Patreon if you're a listener of the show and you want to show us some love, So other than that, we'll be back with you after a moment from these sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code word RuffTalkVR for 20% off plus free shipping. After using Manscaped, I can finally say I have caught the spring fever. Introducing the season's champ, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads. A standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It also features dual LED spotlights to guide you through the darkest winter debris. Navigate with confidence in your delicate areas. Hate making a mess? Not to worry. This bad boy is waterproof. Shave in the shower, in the bath, or in the ocean. Spring cleaning doesn't just apply to the nether regions. Get the full grooming experience with Manscaped's signature Beard Hedger Pro Kit plus Handyman Electric Face Shaver. Whether you're looking to craft your signature look or clean up that neckline, these are always the right tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code word RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants.
And we are back. So, another cool one to kick off the news on the return. A game that was on App Lab that admittingly I haven't played, but as soon as you saw the news, you're like, ooh, what's this one? Drums Rock. It's graduating from App Lab to the official MetaQuest store in spring 2024.
Yep. Honestly, it looks just like
any of the other drumming ones.
Looks like a mash between 2 different drum games.
But you wanted it.
Of course I did.
The second you saw it, you had that tone.
If you're going to give me a rhythm game, just keep, instruments are good. I like instruments.
Mm-hmm. You had that tone in your voice of, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
On App Lab before.
I'll take this.
Yeah.
This is good.
You love drumming games.
I do.
Ragnarok's still my favorite, but Paradiddle's good too.
It has a little Ragnarok vibe to it.
It does.
And it's on the music's on the heavier side. So
Yeah. It seems like that they hyped up some DLCs with it as well, if I'm not crazy in their trailer, but that looks good.
Looks fun as hell.
I'll definitely try it. They didn't give an exact date drop.
As long as the timing's good and all that, I'm golden.
Spring 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we streamed.
As if it's not busy enough.
Yeah. We streamed Contractor Showdown the other day.
We did.
Yeah, which their beta, I believe, is officially done. I think yesterday
My
was
kills
the last
never
day.
registered on the end screen.
Really?
I had three.
It did
three
for-
with the one squad, and on my screen it said 0 and you 0.
Oh, on mine it showed you as 1 on two of your
see,
games.
that's fucked up. Why is that?
Hey, those were your first ever kills too.
Yeah, and I got squad kill.
Yeah.
I was so stoked.
I got assists on that. I was popping them up. That was a fun little stream.
But you know what? I fuck that game without playing in party chat. I can't be trusted to play in.
We kept forgetting. We're lucky. Hey, we would say the same thing if, we don't play Ghost of Tabor in in-game chat.
Why would you?
Admittingly.
Are you crazy?
We play it in Oculus party chat.
Someone gonna have you gotta also understand that there are people who play games with really good headphones, really good.
They're gonna hear that.
You can hear, dude, I heard him breathing.
We kept forgetting before the round would start. It'd be like, don't forget we're not in party chat.
Shit.
60 seconds in, we're chatting hey, let's go here.
Man, you having steak tonight, dude? People oh, I can hear you. I'm coming. It was a French guy.
You're like,
that's
damn it.
That's my weak French. Oh, I'm going to shoot you.
So
keep talking.
Unfortunately, when I cast the video to stream,
I know.
I had a full conversation with these British dudes. I was like, yeah, you're gonna kill me, mate. I know.
You're about to get
Yeah.
When I died, I couldn't hear them.
Hear them around. Yeah, I was just talking with them. Let them know. I know.
But yeah, because when I spotted him, what did I do? I'm like, oh, there's a dude right there. He's right there. They're like, I can hear you. I'm like, I know.
Damn it.
Shit, dude. I got shot. I'm like, fuck this. I want party chat or I ain't playing it.
But when we cast the video to stream, it doesn't pick up party chat audio.
No.
So if we did that, it would only pick up my mic, not yours. So in order to get yours, we have to play in party chat, which if it's just a co-op game, no problem. But a competitive game with spatial audio, get the hell out of here.
Not cool.
No. Having conversation. Just, dude, we're so bad. We kept forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was a fun time. I can't wait for that full release as well.
I'm used to my freedom, man.
Yeah.
I'm used to free balling on my mic.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Drums Rock, though, man. Spring 2024. Spring 2024 is what? The next 1 or 2 months?
Spring is next week.
Yeah, right? So it's got to be coming soon. Another one, this wasn't even on my list to talk about. Another one that's coming out soon. Haven't heard an official date. I just know it's coming eventually soon. This year, Toy Monster is graduating from App Lab to the official MetaQuest store. Yeah. I'm so pumped for that one to come out.
It's a happy, playful game. I mean, dude, I say it like it's a kid's game. It's not.
Just a fun little Plants vs. Zombies.
Correct. It fills that little void that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so. If you like that series, here it is in VR. It's a lot of fun, and the main store launch is going to have a lot more content too. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Get it cheaper now on App Lab with a little bit less content, so you have it at launch. You know, it's going to go up in price a little bit, so why not?
So I saw in our Discord there was, I can't remember who, but they had some questions about App Lab, and it actually got me thinking, and we don't talk about it enough. We talk about App Lab a lot. We've been supporters of App Lab since there's literally day one of App Lab. I think we've been talking about it. But it was a question about game pricing and how is it true that some games were one price on App Lab and then they're more expensive in the main store? And it's absolutely.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, App Lab reminds me of a very smaller, controlled version of very moderated version of Steam, where there's games you can look at as investments, pure investments.
Get it cheap.
If you look at a game and it's $14.99 and you look at the preview and you're like, this game is at least a $20, $25 game, fucking buy it. You can even sit on it and wait, because when and if it goes to the store,
it's probably going to go up in price.
It's going to go up in price, and you already own the game.
And how many games
it's a double win, man.
How many games have we picked up right when it comes out on App Lab, and then a year later, it's like, dude, so many improvements. I love seeing that process.
Deism's one of the greatest examples of getting a game early access, because it was really stripped down, I think, when we first got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, update, boom, official store. And it's a 10 times better game than it ever was when we first got it. But we got it on the cheap. The question was also demos. Are there demos on App Lab? And it's like, absolutely. My only beef with demos is once I learn that I download a demo and it's going to show up in my library forever, I'm pretty pissed off about that, and I don't want to.
I prefer paying a little early access
to own it
than a demo. I'm not big. Demo feels too like early 2000s. Remember demo discs and stuff? Those were kind of cool.
But then, because that was a different day too.
Yeah,
man.
different
now
time.
It's like
different time.
Everything is a streaming situation.
I'd rather
jack it from the cloud. Or
I like early access a lot. But
or
nonetheless,
paid demo was the other question that was brought up, and it's like I am totally against the paid demo.
No, paid early access is the way to go on that. But yeah, no, App Lab is a great vehicle for developers to put out their games on early access, build up some funds.
You're at risk of the rating system, though.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like people are much more sympathetic rating App Lab games than, especially if it's very clear that this is early access and in beta.
There's no asshole ratings on App Lab.
No, there are. I get it, but it's, but I feel like that there is
not
more
to the
leeway.
well because I think that depends on
how it's advertised.
Disclosed from the studio advertising it, because there's been situations where there's no clear advertisement stating that this is like going to be jank and bear with us, but there's other cases where it's clearly this is a game in progress. Finished product might not even be what you're playing today. They like, how much more can you put it on the table than that? So it just comes to disclosure to me.
Yeah, no, but App Lab's a great vehicle for developers. Get their game out early, market it up a bit, build a little following, get a little funds while you continue developing it. So yeah,
hone your marketing.
If you like early access games or just little indie small games, I mean, App Lab has some of my favorite experiences in VR. So,
dude, all but like one of them.
I take for granted that there's been a lot of new Quest users, a lot of new VR users. So if you're like a newer user, you haven't checked out the App Lab library yet, man, go crazy. There's so many good games on there. There's some good websites that act as directories too that list them much better than the official MetaQuest store does. Also, you can go browse a lot of App Lab games through SideQuest website as well. So go
just
crazy.
Type in App Lab, you'll find it.
Go crazy. If there's a genre that you want to see in VR and you haven't seen it yet, it's probably on some indie game on SideQuest and on App Lab.
And more importantly, you're helping the development team. Even if it's a free, they do free. If they're doing free, it's because they want, chances are they want the feedback, and they probably want you to break their game. But
no, App Lab is the shit. So, nonetheless, a couple more pieces of news. I was actually laughing when we watched the trailer of this one. An upcoming game called Leroy, which at first I was like, what's going on here? It looks like a meme-heavy...
Bad Leroy Brown.
Looks like a
man in the whole damn town.
It's a game full of memes and internet culture references, it looks like, but it's just
I saw Donald date former President Trump.
Well, I doubt they'll say that's him, but that's
an exact image.
Come on.
I wonder if you had to get approval from him for that.
Definitely not. There was
because we saw him in another game.
Yeah, I remember playing Flash games back in the day where you'd like box presidents, box rappers, and stuff like that.
You wonder how their image can get used like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Without lawsuit?
You don't say it's actually them.
Doesn't matter. It's your image.
So it's a spin-off of it.
I don't know.
It's heavily inspired. Look at
How
Tropico.
would you feel if you
at Tropico. Look at some of the characters inspired.
Well, no,
by
Fidel Castro is Fidel Castro.
What do you
mean inspired by?
Because there's a lot of characters in that game that are not the actual people, but heavily inspired. Like a make-believe Richard Nixon popping up on your screen that's not named Richard Nixon, but it is.
Well, in that sense, but the dictators, they're real.
And some of them
used to be.
Some of them are just inspirations.
I wonder what the percentage of real versus.
I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know, but that was definitely
legal
Donald
expert.
Trump. I'm not
a legal expert. It's not a legal question.
Yeah,
how many of them are? How many of How many of the
I'm sorry.
Tropico
I
dictators
thought you
are...
were. I was referring to like the use of likenesses in the games, like Donald Trump in the game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they needed approval. I imagine not. You just don't say 100% that it's Donald Trump.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't know, because that was definitely. And there's a couple other like clearly inspired by real
social
characters,
media and shit.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, Leroy VR looks pretty fucking sweet.
Looks entertaining.
It's a bunch of little party mini games, which I've long advocated, like for a Mario Parties type one, which this doesn't look like, but those type of little party mini games are always fun, and I think in VR it works even better. They have some fun
if it's done right.
Yeah, on their store page they have some funny names for some of their mini games as well too. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it. It's coming out in early access later this year on App Lab and Steam VR. So let's see. It's got potential. So Leroy VR. And then another cool one, Flat to VR. They're a community of VR modders that have brought some great VR mods to standalone and flat screen VR. I'm sorry, standalone and PC VR. But they announced that they're officially launching an actual studio to work directly with existing VR studios with flat screen games to bring official VR ports to VR. Like commercialized, licensed,
it makes
partnered.
the most sense because I mean, if you look at just like if Team Beef, I mean, like let's be honest, if you had a flat screen game and you're like, I just don't want to have to build a whole new department. Theoretically, you could go to them and be like, "Can you help me out?" and actually hire them for your. So to see somebody filling that void is huge. But again, as long as it's ported. Because I've seen some of these modded ports that people have done before, and let's just be honest. There's a lot of, if you're not willing to put in the total amount of time to make sure everything's working like it should, it's not going to be a great experience.
Some of the stuff that's already come through the flat to VR community, and you know, you referenced Team Beef. It's like that's
depends on who's doing it and what they're doing.
Well,
because again, there's other people who have done it, and it's not a great finished product.
Well, imagine if they're able to get official collaborations with existing studios. It's probably going to make it even easier to mod because they get direct access to everything too. It's
that's
not
what
like
I'm saying. Like, see, like you have a flat screen game. Go like, here's all my code. There's
Go
nothing
crazy.
I'm not giving you. I even gave you memos and scratch pads when we went out to dinner and conceptually thought of it. Can you help me? And how many bags of cash do I got to drop at your doorstep? No, dude, it's a
genius idea.
Brilliant market. As some studios who would like to get into VR but can't because again, it's like you're gonna have to create a department.
And there are some studios that, due to the Unreal Engine VR injector mod, have been like, "Wow, maybe I do my game in VR."
Well, if it
and then
gives
here
them
comes flat to VR knocking on the door. Saying, hey, how about this? You like the idea of it in VR? You don't even have to do it. Let us do it.
I heard from a friend who knows somebody that you're looking to change your game into VR.
Yeah, I think there's room in the industry for ports. Some people are super against flat screen ports
because they're not always done good. It's not a good representation.
But then you look at something
VR
like
port.
Look how hyped I am for Tropico VR. It's like I'm open to ports. I don't think it should be in all the games that come out, but it's like, let's go. Why not? It worked flat screen.
I mean,
let's go.
Train Sim, that should come over. There's no reason.
Look how hyped you are for Lawnmower Sim.
And Train Sim is like stupid It sounds stupid because you're like doing different trains at different time periods and shit. But dude, you got to operate the damn train. It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
And it's fun as hell. So, I mean, I got a list of games I'd love to see come to VR, but I'm not going to lie. Most of them I see come into VR. So I'm not like in the road that they're on. All the ones that I enjoy on Xbox are popping over. So, I mean, there's only a handful more that I'd really like to see. So,
well, I think a lot more developers are interested on it. So I think that flat to VR, I think it makes sense what they're doing.
Well,
like there's a market for it.
Let's be honest. You can recycle an older product and make it new again.
Correct.
So
everyone wins.
Take something that made you a lot of money in the last time and
see how it does in VR.
Recycle it and give it to that audience that already owned it the last time and people who never owned it, but they own VR.
With proven developers that did it great for free before, with no resources handed to them. Just,
Actually paying them,
yeah.
getting 100% of their attention.
And look, I don't think that they announced any games that they're already are partnered with, but
They're crazy talented, dude.
I would imagine if it was me,
talented.
if I was to make the leap and officially form a studio and everything, the way my brain works, that would mean that you have one or two people you're at least talking to seal the deal, right? You don't make the studio and then go hunting, right?
I don't know.
So I don't know. They didn't announce anything, but I got a gut feeling that they already have some things up their sleeves. I can't wait to see what comes of this. Full supporter though. Huge props to Flat to VR for
If done properly, I'm a huge supporter.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the
It's all
Team
to me
Beef.
that finished product.
Yeah, I love the Team Beef crew too. So I don't know. I got good faith. Let's see. Let's see though. And then another cool one, In Architects. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
I don't even know why you're talking about this one.
Why? Because of the trailer?
I mean, what do you? I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let you try to describe this to me because I watched the fucking thing with you.
I saw an Upload
I want to
VR
know how you're going to.
I saw an Upload
even
VR.
Get hyped about this.
I saw an Upload VR article that said it's an upcoming game inspired by Gary's Mod and Roblox.
Okay.
So I was like, let's go watch this trailer. That sounds really cool. Remember Gary's Mod?
Yeah,
You own Gary's Mod?
I own. Yes.
It's a fun sandbox creator. You play stuff. You go crazy.
Yeah. So we're talking about this.
Use your imagination.
Sell me on it.
So we go to watch the trailer of Antarctics, if I'm even pronouncing it right.
I didn't watch a trailer.
It was a cartoon show.
I watched
like
the cartoon.
Like a minute cartoon.
I'm not shitting on the game because
I have no
there's
idea
no
what the
game
game
to
is.
shit on.
It was just a cartoon.
It wasn't a bad cartoon.
People are going to be like, you sure you didn't see an ad? No, go watch the video.
I'm sure you didn't see an ad.
It's these little cartoons shooting at each other,
did not
placing
have
stuff.
erectile dysfunction, my friend. It didn't have the diabetes.
Is that the ads that you get served, diabetes and ED ads?
I get balding ads, erectile dysfunction ads, which is insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insulting.
They're just like, he's 50,
Yeah.
50-year-old male. Here's ED and balding pill.
AARP started showing up years ago. Years ago, dude. It's like they monitor your shit. But anywho, sell me on this game. It's a game.
Well, that's it. I guess it's inspired by Roblox and Gary's mod, but I didn't see any of that in the trailer. I'm excited to see more coming out from it, but I got nothing really
Who's
to say.
the developer?
I don't know right off the top. I'll go look that up in a second.
No
but
worries.
it's coming out
Sorry.
early access on App Lab next month, April 23rd.
I don't know what to say.
And then it's coming full release Quest, Pico, Steam, and PSVR 2. So props to them on that. All platforms, including Pico. That's coming Q2
I just hate that
2024.
there's nothing to say about it. I was really like upset.
You're like, I don't even know why you're bringing this one up. I'm like, it's worth still bringing up.
What's to bring up?
Couldn't see
Dude.
anything about it.
There's going to be some.
It's a cartoon.
Holy shit, dude.
It's a freaking cartoon.
In July, there's a game coming. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
You're just trolling to make your point, right?
I'm just saying. It's going to be inspired by something. It's going to be amazing.
So, you know what's something that we didn't talk about the other week? I got just
The cartoon and all.
We've said what we need to say.
Yeah, all joking aside, the cartoon wasn't bad. It
didn't
was
show
a
any game.
To me, it was a waste of resources versus.
Just show me your freaking game that's
Show
coming
me
out
it.
in early access next
Show me
month.
wireframe. I'm happy.
It's coming out in early access next month.
Yep.
If you don't have anything to show a month away,
I want to be excited for it, and I want to be
Yeah.
able to talk about it.
It sounds like
just-
a cool concept, right? I'm sold on concept. I just need to see some
On
footage.
what concept?
Gary's Mod, Roblox, you know.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Have a chicken in it? I mean, I don't. That's my point, man. It's conceptually, does that mean really bad graphics but good physics?
Imagine if that was the game.
You know what's funny? When we watched the trailer, I was like, I know when we talk about this, I'm going to say something funny about it, right? I can't help myself because it was literally a cartoon. And in the back of my head, I was like, I hope Tuesday I get an email from you that's forwarded from the developers to
With
be like,
gameplay footage of that's what it looks like.
bro, you totally misunderstood. That actually is in-game footage.
If it is, full apology next week.
Oh, yeah, dude. I will eat crow on it.
But there's no way.
And if that's the case,
That was
then
Saturday
holy
morning
crap.
cartoons. That was
I'll put it on record right now and be like, if that's the actual game, then holy Moses.
They made a cartoon game.
I've
I'm
never
down.
seen such a smooth cartoon game ever made in VR. But if not,
Third person.
let's see what happens by next week.
Anybody got some cereal? I had some Saturday morning
But I'm not
cartoon
shitting on
vibes.
it. I'll play anything, man. I really want it to. I really get excited to enjoy good trailers and talk about the shit. I get frustrated when there's nothing to talk about. So I was shocked that you even brought it up.
Mm-hmm. That's all. That's all. We didn't bring this one up the other week too, and I meant to. When Wanderer VR put out their official release date in June for their remaster of Wanderer, that's going to be on the Quest. I'm so excited for it because original Wanderer VR was only on PC VR.
Wanderer the mixtape.
Now this is coming to Quest and PlayStation VR 2 as well as PC VR. It's going to have enhanced graphics and more content. Just a remaster. I'm pumped for it. Finally get to experience it. At the end of their release date trailer, they put out a teaser that they're also working on Wanderer 2. So that's pretty cool too, right? I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, no, that's actually interesting.
Because some people are like, oh, why are you doing a remaster instead of a sequel? Come on, we already played it. And it's like, hey, we're reaching audiences that we didn't before, and it's way better graphics with some more content. So I'm happy they're doing the remaster because I've always wanted to play it, and now I get to.
For a lot of people, it's going to be a brand new game.
Correct.
So for others, it's going to be a whole better game.
And for the ones that are like, hey,
Win-win.
I already played it, I don't want to play it again, I'd rather a sequel. Okay. There's a sequel in the works.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a win-win.
So they did a great job with that.
How's this? When they remaster it and it updates to your shit, you don't have to play it. You can wait for the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're still playing the game now anyways, and you're going to get a better freaking game, plus the second one, what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
When
am
I
I
saw
just being
that-
an asshole?
I missed it the first time I saw the trailer, and I watched it again. I was like, what's that pirate ship at the end? I'm like, oh my God, this is Wanderer 2.
Dude, I'd kill for Skull and Bones in VR.
Yeah, you're having so much fun with it. But dude, they're doing
I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I want people to play with because you can have three people,
Yeah,
three
I'm just
fucking
not-
pirate ships
I'm just
going
not
down.
big on naval combat games.
I never was either.
Just not.
This one just has a feel to it. I think I'm alone.
I'm so pissed
what?
because we've been so engulfed in VR. Obviously, I don't really flat screen game too much. I always wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3 because I love the first two Boulder Gates, as well as, oh man, what's it called? Icewind.
Icewind Fuck?
No.
I've never seen a game called that.
Icewind Dal.
I've seen a movie called that.
It'll come to my mind in a moment. But nonetheless, always loved Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. The developers are going to be at PAX. The developers of Baldur's Gate 3. And I had always wanted to hop into Baldur's Gate 3. Never got a chance to.
Now you can.
Well, I'm like, damn, do I try to play once before?
Hell no. Go in there full disclosure.
Yeah, I kind of hopped around my thought
My
there.
shirt says Ruff Talk VR too.
I kind of hopped around my thought there. I loved Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Even though last year we talked to we actually interviewed the boxing game guy.
Yeah, Undisputed. But yeah, I'd never hopped into Baldur's Gate 3, and now I see that the developers of Baldur's Gate 3 are going to be at PAX East. That's pretty cool.
Shell's going to be at PAX East.
Yeah, I'm going to bother the hell out of them. I'll tell you that much.
I say now, I obviously we won't do this, disclaimer, just joking, but I thought it would be funny to just show up and sit down in a couple of chairs, set up our shit, make ourselves at home,
tailgate,
have the microphone, have the 4 mics set up ready to roll.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be showing off Silent Slayer.
And just sit there all day.
We're going to have 4 mics, though. That's not a joke.
No.
We're going to have 4 mics. We're going to have a camera.
Well, nor is me showing up to their booth. That's not a joke.
No.
The only joke is jacking a couple of chairs and making ourselves at home. And
whipping out cold cut subs.
Whole cake. No, I don't think you're supposed to eat on the floor at the convention when you're in your booth.
They sell food.
Yeah, but as a vendor, you're not supposed to be.
Am I a vendor?
Out of respect, why would you eat food in someone's booth?
Out of respect, why would you pull up a chair and post up there?
Well, we did at Resolution.
We
We didn't pull up a chair. We were offered chairs, though.
We just sat there for a little bit.
No, we set up a tripod and filmed right dead smack in the middle of their fucking booth. What are you talking about?
That's different than tailgating up there.
It's not tailgate. I didn't mention anything about partying. I mentioned about doing our shit from their booth. Calling in other developers to come over for interviews at the Shell booth. Nah, come over. Nah, booth 1242, Shell. Catch us there at 2:30. Just like, nah, I'm just kidding. No. That all was a joke.
But I'm excited to hang out with Shell.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they get a briefcase of swag for me. They were. I only say that because last year they were supposed to be there with Among Us, if I remember correctly, and they couldn't because of other commitments.
Well, swag or no swag, I'm excited to see the Shell Games peeps.
Of course, dude. They're wicked good. And when we spoke to them, I'll say they were really cool.
Yeah.
For all I know, we're gonna walk up and get kicked in the shin.
Like, who the hell are you guys? Get the hell away from me.
Imagine that being kicked right in the shin. Boom.
Welcome to Pennsylvania, motherfucker.
Yeah, so, I don't think they're that type of people.
No. So that's really it for the main.
I hope their booth is big too.
That's really. I don't think it is. It's like an advertised booth.
Is it the same size as Demeo's last year?
I think so. It's like it's the typical. You know, when you look on the map, like the middle, they have like the bigger booths.
Yeah,
and then like that first, they have like the kind of like middle sized booths.
It's bigger than the bowling.
Yes,
bowling pin. So it's about the same size as Demeo's.
And like Peaky Blinders and stuff like that.
Peaky Blinders had a big booth, though.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Shell Games one. So PAX East this weekend. That's kind of our last week of content before PAX East as well.
Yeah,
so
heading out.
Get to pack up everything tonight, baby. Get ready for Friday night. Let's go.
Friday night?
Friday morning, I mean.
Friday night?
Sorry. Get ready for Friday morning, I mean.
Yeah, we'll be there, I'm thinking 7 a.m.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
So that's really it for the...
Supposed to be Thursday, but have another commitment and unfortunately fucked that up. So.
Yeah, well, that's life. The show goes on, but...
Work around it.
That's really it for major VR news. I guess some honorable mentions. Meta's funding some Godot game engine vets to improve the OpenXR and Quest features in Godot. Godot is a free-to-use alternative to, Unreal and Unity. It's just, since it's free, it's not as feature-rich and natively supported, we'll say. So this endeavor of funding these vets to improve functionality is kind of an endeavor to fix that. So that'd be cool to see that. You got to give Meta props for the amount that they do little stuff like that push the industry forward that they don't always get credit for.
They lose billions in research for VR,
AR, and AI.
And their own platforms, of course.
And hardware support and development and everything. But yeah, it's the little stuff like that. Like if Godot can become a legit...
Wait until Meta manufactures from A to Z all their own shit.
It's inevitable. For a while, they were investing on making their own chips, but then they canned that, and we were like, we'll just work with Qualcomm. Qualcomm does a great job. For whatever reason, it ended up not.
If they'll make shit proprietary.
Meanwhile, though, I kind of think like you look at Apple and their chips with like the M2 and stuff like that. It's actually proved to be a powerful move of theirs to have their own in-house chips. I was a little bummed to see, a couple years ago.
Apple used to make computers. Why wouldn't they?
Well,
I mean, they still do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be ridiculous if they.
Well, most people don't, and
Microsoft.
They don't make their own chips.
No,
it's all AMD.
They only need because Microsoft's the operating system.
Yeah, it's you got to give Apple credit for that. And a lot of people were like kind of not against the decision, but critical of it initially.
Oh, let's not forget though that,
and it's come to pay off even for the
Apple's history has not been a successful one.
No, it's a lot of ups and downs, but even the Vision Pro, they were able to just stick some of their
bankruptcy at one point.
They were able to just stick their existing chips and then just make that baby work like that. So I was a little bummed when Meta a couple of years ago did can that because I'm like having your own in-house chips is such a powerful thing. Will.
I mean, they're not stupid.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an eventual. It just wasn't the right time, and you're also looking at like we were talking earlier about video cards and shit, like what was going on in that whole world. And it's like, that's not the fucking time to start looking for the material to make your own processors and shit. So it's like, I could see once everything.
And you look what happens though with Qualcomm though, because Meta works directly with them on the Snapdragon XR series.
Mhm.
But new one comes out, they're not the only headset that uses it. There's like 5 upcoming headsets that are all going to use it. So it's like you invest all that money in research with Qualcomm, and then it gets sold to everybody non-exclusive.
Yep.
Kind of makes you wish that you made your own proprietary ones, but
Down the road.
I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure eventually they'll go back to it. And then, one more quick cool one. A study came out that found that 120 frame rates per second is an important threshold for overcoming VR sickness. And that makes sense. That would mean no jank, no lag, no stutters at 120.
I don't think by any means that's a solution.
No, but
it adds to.
Seems like according to the study, VR sickness was a lot less prevalent in the same experiences with, high frame rate. And that makes sense.
People who get motion sickness inherently will get motion sickness in VR. I mean, driving down the street, you're not.
I think you should check out the study, but there's definitely some stuff to it. That 120 frame rates per second greatly reduces.
Oh, no, what I'm saying is if you're predetermined to motion sickness, though, like you get vehicle movement
Correct.
makes you sick.
No matter what, there always will be a percentage.
So
but if you look at it as just like.
If you can take someone who gets motion sickness and get them to not in VR, that's pretty damn impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just one of those, another piece in the puzzle to reduce motion sickness, which is a big negative barrier of entry, you could say, to VR. And to me, it makes sense. It's like having a smooth experience that there's no stuttering and there's no
brainer.
Yeah. The only times I've really ever felt nauseous is just like glitches and shit gets stuttery and laggy. And that's just when things get no good. And then also one last honorable mention, TwistX, a game that's mainly mixed reality on App Lab. They're adding VR immersive environments as well for people that prefer that over mixed reality.
Going the opposite route.
Right? You were even commenting off air. You're like, that's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah. But again, that might just be as simple as I don't want to see my dirty room.
It makes sense. I could even see Demeter doing that in the future as well, too. So
Demeter, I wouldn't be upset about.
So that's it for VR news this week. Fun stuff. We had some fun at the beginning talking about our life adventures, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. A lot of cool stuff this week too. Loaded March, loaded April. I'm sure May is going to be even more so. I already know June's good with Wanderer, the remaster of that coming out. So
don't forget about something amazing coming in July.
What's that? Oh, you're
you know what's coming.
Nonetheless, don't listen to this guy. This is the guy that kills all of his island people in Tropico.
No. I don't kill the fucking productive ones.
Only the rebel rousers.
Dude, you're standing there in front of a building with a sign, like putting me down after everything I've done for you.
So we got to wrap this up.
You will feel the iron fist.
We got a good interview
El Presidente
to attend to, but huge thank you to our Patreon supporters.
Adios.
I already gave a shout out to them, but why not? Amelia, Asim, Earth Witness, Carson, Generic Vibes, Jake, Crispy Shoes, you all rock, as well as everybody else on our Patreon, supporter list, as well as everybody who partakes in our Discord. If you're not a member of those, go join it. The Discord's free. Patreon, that's a way to support us a little bit other ways, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, we'll check you out later this week, as long as everything goes well, with another Ruff Talk VR interview. Like I said, loaded April too. Already all booked up, so stay tuned.
Sweet.
Subscribe, rate us 5 stars. You got to say it. Smash that like button. Comment, share the episode, scream it from the mountains, from the world, tell your friends, and we'll be back with you later this week.